Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Speed Gaming Live 2020. We present to you today a match of Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo of Thorneto versus TGDerp. This is going to be a very exciting race. Thorneto just coming off of a very close win against myself, if I may say, and TGDerp coming off of a very exciting match against Azure, the one and only. We will see how this match goes. How about you, Glove? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch this. Two very talented players here obviously have had to make it against some really challenging opponents thus far to make it to this stage. And I think that they have an interesting card to contend with this round.
Yes, Thorneto selecting the bottom left, top right diagonal for Derp to complete, and
Derp
Derp
selecting row
selecting.
3.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very interesting call. So how about we go over the rules of double anti-bingo before these runners start off, just to get everyone refreshed.
Yeah, sure. So I like to think of double anti-bingo as being sort of like 3 layers of complexity, where at the first layer we have bingo, which is the card that we have before you, on which a player must win by completing a row, column, or diagonal, completing all of the tasks on one of these, and double bingo being having to complete 2 lines total. Double anti bingo specifically being your opponent chooses for you 1 line that you have to complete, and you choose one for yourself to complete. I would like to take a moment here to note that Derp does have Blat Split.
Blat Split, the very entertaining timer. I'll bet we'll be laughing at that throughout this run.
Oh yeah, I had one race where I did Blat Split in Wingdings because you can change the font, and that was interesting.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
That just sounds like its own adventure.
it was miserable. Speaking of miserable, let's talk about these lines that our opponents have picked for each other, or our runners have picked for their opponents.
Yeah. Let's start with Derp's choice, row 3. It's going to be 10 wrecked ship super missiles, just the left side and right side supers. That just requires going up to the wrecked ship and killing Fantoon for access to those items. Spring Ball and skipping Grapple Beam, that's going to require one of two difficult tricks of Thor. Either the Ice Clip seen in late Crocomire 100% route, or a Crystal Flash Clip, which is probably the more difficult option of the two.
Yeah, at this point, I would definitely guess Thor wanting to collect Ice Beam and go for Puyo Clip.
Yes, that would seem to be his option, seeing as he was also practicing the Ice Clip before this race. 3
Right.
plus reserve tanks, just getting 3 reserve tanks, collecting only 1 of Wave and Charge. Simple, just what it says. Just what it says on the tin, one of them, and then both Brinstar missile recharge stations. That's going to mandate him to go down to the Kraid area. So
Yeah, I'm going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting hearing Derp's thoughts on selecting this row afterwards.
yeah,
I
he
think
could.
it's definitely an interesting row. Obviously, anytime you can make your opponent collect Spring Ball, that's pretty ideal.
Yeah, Spring Ball being one of the slowest, if not the slowest item in the game to pick up.
Yeah. I do think, just at a glance, as an individual row, bottom left, top right looks really devious, though.
Definitely. It's got the collect plasma beam and skip space jump square, which is just ugly. You have to go through all of Meridia, probably after doing wrecked ship for the gravity suit, and you have to skip that item behind Drake on the space jump, and then go get the plasma beam. Plasma beam is one of my least favorite items to pick up in this category, or race, whatever you want to call it. 4 plus energy tanks, 15 plus power bombs. Fairly simple, just a collectionist tile. 3 plus reserve tanks again. Fairly simple. Criteria super missile. That is one ugly tile, though. You're gonna have to go back to the criteria area after getting the speed booster from Upper Norfair to get that super missile. It's locked behind some speed blocks, and you can also use the ice beam. You can also use the ice beam to freeze some poos to make that trip a bit easier. But I don't know if Derp's going to be using that. I suspect he will, though. And then defeat Crocomire. That just requires going deeper into Upper Norfair and doing that boss fight.
Yeah.
But of course, you cannot forget that in addition to these rows that their opponents have selected for them, they have to do an additional row, pardon me, to go with that selected row or column or diagonal.
Yeah, and getting into that, here's where I think sort of the picks that our runners have made get really interesting, because I think for Derp, with the objectives that he has already, I think column 4 looks fairly free.
Column 4 definitely something that could be done, definitely, because if you go to wrecked ship first, you can get that gravity suit, then you'll have basically no need of the Varia suit at all.
Right, and Derp already going to want to get gravity suit, unless there are plans for suitless Meridia, which I would seriously doubt.
Yes, suitless Meridia requires a lot of item collection beforehand, and it's just super slow on the whole. So I would not think he would be attempting it.
Right, already having to do Criteria Super Missile, in my opinion, the most annoying of column 4.
Definitely, but since you've already got to do Criteria Supers, the rest of column 4 seems fairly in the way.
Right. You already have to defeat Batwoon.
Yeah, if you gotta defeat Batwoon to get to Dragon in the first place. You're passing right by charge, so you can just pick that up.
The 15 plus power bombs is a bit awkward. It could make sorry, no, I'm mixing the two runners' objectives up. I was about to say it could make Crystal Flash Clip a bit more compelling, but Derp does not have to collect Spring Ball without Grapple Beam.
Yeah, 15 plus power bombs is already required in another tile in Derp's diagonal. So,
right, yeah, so I think we're going to see a column 4 play from Derp.
That seems like the obvious choice.
Yeah. Now, on Thor's side, perhaps a bit less obvious. And I wonder if that's sort of what's behind Derp's choice for Thor. Looking immediately, there's not anything as obvious as what Derp has jumping out for Thor. Any thoughts?
I'm not so sure. Obviously, column 3 and row 5 are ruled out because grapple beam square cannot be done because you have to skip grapple beam row 3. But I don't know. It doesn't really open. It doesn't really. I don't know how you say it. It doesn't really lend itself to any obvious choices. Derp electing to pick up the Brinstar Reserve tank. Is he maybe going for a row 1 play or something?
It could be. It's possible at this stage in the game where Derp just trying to feel stuff out that he could, or no, he has to collect 3 reserve tanks.
Oh, that is true. That is true. He does have to collect 3 reserve tanks, like he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest one to collect.
Kind of a requirement.
Yeah, that's the difficulty with double anti-bingo, is just having to remember everything that you need to pick up on the way and figuring out how to route it properly.
Yeah, the beginning 5 minutes of a double anti-bingo race can just be figuring out what your other line is going to be. You can't really focus on the run that much. When I race this category, I often autopilot series station. I don't even think about what I'm doing. I just think about the card.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny to see because sometimes with double anti-bingo at the beginning of the game, you'll see very practiced, very talented runners just messing up simple movement options because they're also trying to think about what they're doing.
Yeah, sometimes when you're not paying attention to the game, it can cause some errors in your play. Derp missing that damage boost, that doesn't really cost him too much, but
Yep.
it can definitely be annoying. Like you said, maybe it can just be concentration error.
Right.
Thor going back into Big Pink. Is he going for the Spore Spawn super missiles? Passes by the Spore Spawn hole.
Yeah, what's Thor doing?
Is he going to? He's going back further.
The missile station?
Oh, that could be. That's it. That's it. He has to get the Brinstar missile station. He forgot it. There's the missile station back in the elevator room to the left, and he has to get that for his tile. And he did not on his first pass. He does have to get that.
Right. Yeah, and see that's what we're talking about. Just trying to keep a million things in your head at once.
Yeah, I don't know.
Meanwhile, Derp about to fight Kraid. Does this indicate that he plans on picking up Varia's suit?
I mean, you can fight Kraid without picking up the Varia suit, but it wouldn't really be that much of a point to fighting Kraid in that case. You could just head right into Norfair.
Yeah, so that would imply not going for a column 4 play.
That is true.
Ooh, and getting just that pea shooter Kraid quick kill. That's really fun.
Very nice. He would have a lot of experience in that style of quick kill from GT Classic, where you don't pick up charge beam for most runners. But definitely a good thing to see from Derp.
Absolutely.
Thor probably glad he remembered that missile refill station, now heading past the noob bridge, and decides to head down the red tower, probably going to fight Kraid as well. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So with Thorn's objectives, because of that spring ball, can't completely skip Meridia. So that does imply he's going to be picking up the gravity suit at some point as well. Meaning neither of our players likely to go for row 1 or column 4.
That is true, and Derp cannot go for row 1 or column 3 at all because of that space jump tile in the middle of row 1.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that conflicts with his other tile in the bottom left corner that he is required to do. Requires him to skip space jump. Thor taking 2 damage, 2 hits from the spike in order to get that damage boost, brings him down to 31 health entering Kraid. If he misses this Kraid quick kill, then this could get very, very nasty. But I do not think he'll miss that quick kill. Let's see if he gets it.
He's going for the charge strat.
Oh,
ooh,
no.
Just a bit early.
That first super. And we will be seeing a prom Kraid today from Thorneto. And he misses the super. This could be very costly. But unloads a missile.
Okay, cleans it up. That's good.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, meanwhile, Derp heading into Norfair.
Yeah, heading through the Rising Tide area, almost certainly after picking up those high jump boots, he'll be almost certainly picking up the speed booster, probably looking for that Norfair reserve tank for those 3 reserve tanks that he needs.
Yep. Also gonna visit Croc while we're here.
That is
Most
true,
likely.
and could be picking up the wave beam, could be considering that, but that does rule out rows 3 and column 4 if he picks it up.
Yeah. If he does opt to pick up that wave beam, then there's only a few options left. Uh, what else is there? Um, there's row 2. Row 2 seems like a lot of collection, though. That row doesn't seem great to me at all.
There could be column 5. He's already killing Dragon, and he can just go down and get grapple, and then he'll just have to go through to Shack Tool after
Right.
after after getting plasma. That could be made viable, but you never know. Never know what these runners have in mind until the dot done. But Thorneto also heading down into Norfair. High jump boost probably will be his first pickup in here.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I've heard a lot of double anti-bingo players say that wrecked ship is very strong. Early wrecked ship is very strong in double anti-bingo, and if you can keep your opponent from going there first, then that's pretty good.
That is true. I've definitely heard that said. Derp electing to pick up the wave beam struggles a bit with the wall jumps out, but does end up getting it. Never really seen that variant before. Kills that cack attack for the super. He's early game supers are very scarce. You only get 1 pack, and if you run old route, you'll stick with that
Right.
1 pack until wrecked ship. So managing those supers can prove vital in some situations.
Yeah. What do you think about column 1 for Derp?
Column 1. He would probably have to pick up the wrecked ship map station, given that he didn't pick up the criteria map station early. But column 1 is definitely viable, because he'll probably be heading to wrecked ship since he has to do Meridian stuff.
Right.
Thorneto electing to pick up a few more Norfair missiles than necessary suggests he'll be going for some sort of row 2, column 2, or top left, bottom right play. What do you make of that?
Yeah, for Thorn, I don't hate top left, bottom right at all. I think the worst part of that, besides those Norfair missiles, is easily finishing in Spring Ballroom, and Thorn has to do that anyway.
That is true. He doesn't have to. At least he doesn't have to finish there, but he does have to go there, and finishing there is definitely a play. Definitely a not bad play. Picking up some more
Right.
missiles, almost solidifying that Norfair missiles play as Derp fights Croc the Eight-Eyed Wonder, hiding in Norfair, protecting his grapple beam. We'll see if Derp heads down into his lair to claim that treasure.
Yeah, I think at the point where you're already defeating Crocomire, collecting Grapple Beam, not too much of a hassle at all.
Definitely, it's only a few rooms more. It's really the Crocomire fight that is the most time loss, and since you're required to do that grapple beam, like you said, definitely not too much of a hassle.
Yeah, at this point when I'm already in Croc, I'd much rather, if I'm looking specifically at that square collect grapple beam or wrecked ship E-tank, I'd much rather collect grapple right here.
Definitely.
Uh, looks like he's collecting the power bombs here.
Could just be here just for the power bombs, or could be here for more.
Yeah, and that will be his first power bomb pack.
Yeah, power bombs not really required. Oh, Derp leaving. Not here for the grapple beam. Just here for the boss and the power bombs.
Yeah, that's it's really interesting. On paper, Derp being really close to completing row 1, unfortunately will never be able to do so.
That is sad but true. Is he Derp going for the No, he doesn't get it. He was going for the insanely tight. I believe it's a stutter 3, a very tight stutter 3. Some people choose to go for a stutter 4 instead on that platform. It is possible, but it is extremely tight, and I'm happy to see that Derp only gave it one go.
Interesting.
It would have been very, very cool if he had gotten it. I think it might
Yep,
have.
and not taking ice beam here.
Yeah, it's just choosing to leave. I think that might have been for the X Factor beam combo he has currently.
Yeah, I would imagine that is the case.
Yeah,
Between not picking up ice beam and not picking up grapple, that means we're not going to see Shack Tool, but I think that was pretty unlikely from Derp anyway.
definitely. I mean, he still could pick up the alpha and beta power bombs and do a crystal flash clip in there, but
That is true.
I don't know if he's confident in that trick. I know I'm not. Oh, Derp heading left. I believe he's going to be picking up those criteria supers now. Skipping that ice beam could prove to be a mistake now, because when you get in there, there's going to be some little yellow blobs called boyons. The game intends you to freeze in order to make a path to gain some speed to get your echoes and then do a shine spark up there to get that super missile pack. Obviously, these runners can just do a short charge and jump over the boyons. However, if you get hit by those enemies, then you'll be stuck in some acid, and that could prove fatal.
Yeah, I believe many runners will attempt a damage boost across them. A little bit risky though, because if you accidentally KO through, that can be pretty deadly.
Yes, that is. Getting stuck in that acid is not something you want to have happen. I believe somebody told me about a strat where you charge your spark right before the boyons, run back. No, you run back and get a spark at the end, then you get blue to just jump over the boyons with blue. But it doesn't look like Derp's going for a strat. Oh, maybe? He goes for a jump morph and doesn't quite get what he wants. Oh, he could be... Okay, looks like he's... Okay, he's just going to use power bombs to kill the boyons. Slow,
Yeah,
but
may as well be safe here. Alright, and not having much issue at all.
Now, having collected that criteria super missile, he'll probably be headed over to the wreck ship.
Yeah, and it looks like Thorn collecting those Croc PBs as well. What's Thorn? Oh, right. Thorn's collecting Norfair missiles.
Yeah, he kind of does need these missiles. Not the slowest, but can be risky if you get caught in that acid with those spikes near there. Derp getting that short charge nice and easy now, just like any other day. Not really though. That's a very well executed short charge. Nothing to be understated. And Thorneto going to be heading down. I believe he might be picking up the Indiana Jones missiles, so called because when you get the grappling beam, you swing across on these enemies like Indiana Jones and get these missiles. But he'll be picking up these. I don't know if he'll be picking up the grapple beam.
He can't.
Oh, that is true. He cannot. He's not allowed to pick up that grapple beam.
Yeah, it's got to feel pretty bad to travel this far into Croc's lair and not be able to pick up grapple.
Yeah, that cannot feel good for him. But Derp about to head into the Fantoon fight. Fantoon can give you one of 3 patterns for each round. Slow, mid, or fast. We'll be hoping for, of course, a fast for Fantoon. Hopefully not.
Not a 5-round.
Yeah, hopefully not that many, though. Not getting the fast. See if he gets the mid. Gets the mid.
Going for X Factor strats.
I believe that's a very well executed X Factor for the first round. Derp, I believe, going to be going for the 2 X Factors. Or not, just the 1. Oh,
Yeah.
It does not get the Doppler he wanted.
Unfortunately.
And it's going to be going to a 3rd round. Hopefully
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had enough health to do a second X Factor, or if he didn't have enough health to do a second one and make a mistake.
Yeah, but that
Takes it down in 3 rounds. No big deal.
Yeah, 3 rounds is definitely not what he intended to do, but definitely nothing to understate. 3-round Fantoon fight. Very well done. Very well executed. And,
Absolutely.
And Fantoon giving you a fair bit of supers. So he'll
those are some nice drops.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Thorn picking up Ice Beam, at least for Puyo Clip.
Yeah, that, or he'll be doing Crystal Flash Clip. I would recommend Puyo Clip, personally. After my experience with Crystal Flash Clip in my first race, I would wholeheartedly recommend Puyo Clip. Or just getting Grapple Beam.
Yeah, I believe the Spring Ball Crystal Flash Clip is the same as the Metroid one.
I assume you mean the one into bot one. If you mean that, then yes. Yeah, it's the exact same. You just have to remember to do it on the left side, as I have forgotten at least a few times when I'm doing it.
Right. And Derp collecting 10 wrecked ship supers here.
Yeah, going to that right super almost ensures you're going to be going to the left super. Sometimes you go to the left super and don't worry about the right one. That's the case usually in most 90% style categories, but having gotten both of those super missiles, looks like he'll just be looking for 1 more E-tank, a few more reserve tanks, and then just that plasma beam.
Right, and one power bomb pack at some point.
That is true. I don't know where you would get that power bomb.
Yeah, what's the easiest one along the way?
Probably some alpha or beta power bombs. You're going down Red Tower probably to get to Meridia, and there's 2 right there waiting for you. Of course, the alpha and beta power bombs so named because in your casual playthrough, they're very likely going to be the first 2 power bombs you pick up.
Right. And alpha power bombs being the first bombs you pick up in, I would say, a hefty majority of categories.
That is true. In early Croc, 100% the Crocomire power bombs being the first, but that's definitely the exception to the rule. And I believe that alpha power bombs are going to be the first power bombs for neither of these runners today. Derp with a very well executed bowling spark. Very nice.
I always love to see that bowling spark.
And Thor with the very well executed damage boosts in and out of the Alpha Power Bombs room. Well done. Let's see if he gets to Beta Power Bombs. He elects to enter there, and I believe he'll be picking these up. Very nice triple side hopper kill with that Power Bomb. You have to place it not in a very specific spot, but it's just a little bit of nuance. You have to bonk on that little pillar before you fall into the pit to give the power bomb time to hit those side hoppers. If you're gonna want to execute that strat. Derp having a little trouble with the robots, heading to this wreck ship reserve tank, but does get up there, and he'll be picking up his second reserve tank of the run. No, correct. No, not his second, his third, because he picked up the Norfair reserve tank, I believe.
Yeah, I believe he did. Which would complete that center square for him.
Correct.
Now, I'm trying to think about what's implied by Thorn picking up those beta power bombs. Could he be going for a possible column 2?
That could be a possibility. He'll just have to pick up the wreck ship map station, as well as the other things along the way in row 3, and he'll be golden for a column 2 row 3 play.
Yeah, both of our players here at this point sort of trying to reach the tail end of their run.
Definitely. Derp heading down that red tower. Let's see if he grabs the alpha or the beta power bombs. As Thorneto heads into the wreck ship to fight the ghost with the most, his profile picture, except without the elephant ears. Fantune.
Yeah, I believe there was one time where I was talking to Thor over Discord, and he said that once you learn how to X Factor Fantune, it becomes like the most fun part of the game.
Ha. Yeah, it becomes the most fun part of the game until you run new route. Then it just becomes a not enjoyable time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Thor not having wave this time, having to skip it collecting charge.
And I didn't see Derp getting either the alpha beta power or beta power bombs, but seeing him skip the alpha ones, it makes me think he got the beta ones, and of course seeing it lit up on tracker makes me think he did. And of course, let me take a moment to shout out our tracker Link Force 0. Thank you as always for tracking this race. We definitely could not make this happen without your fine work. Thank you. Thank you.
Tracking double anti-bingo is really difficult, especially as just one person. And Link Force, every time a double anti-bingo match comes up, I always see Link Force in there like, oh yeah, I'll track it.
Yeah, I think there's only been like one race that he did not track and said something like it was 2 a.m. his time or something. So definitely no slouch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and some nice movement from Derp entering Meridia there.
Yeah, very, very well done from Derp. Nice spark up Mount Everest. I believe that would be like one of the first sparks. At least it was the first spark I learned when I started learning this game. Derp
Which one?
The Mount Everest diagonal spark.
Yeah, that spark's really nice. I mean, not only does it save time, it's easier than just about any other strategy you could do through that room.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about doing a short charge of any kind for that room. Derp selecting power bombs. This tells me he's going to go for some sort of X factor. It looks like he's going for the timing one. And gets the X factor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very
lovely
nice.
round one.
Yeah, very nice one round on Botswana from Derp. And I
Yeah.
think,
Meanwhile, Thor collecting both wreck ship supers very close to completion here.
yeah, and Derp also collecting that 4th energy tank. So he just has to get that plasma beam, and then he'll be able to hit that dot done. Very nice full happy from TGDerp.
Oh, absolutely lovely.
Yeah, that's an extremely tight trick, but when you get it, it feels so nice. Now he will be heading into the Dragon fight. Dragon fight is, in my opinion at least, the hardest fight to execute consistently. But I would expect Derp to just make mincemeat out of this shrimp or something like that. Derp using a couple, not Derp, Thorneto using a couple supers in that wreck ship main shaft, but gets the clip there very nice. And
I
Derp,
love that clip.
yeah, Derp setting up the X Factor, and I don't think he got the opener he wanted, but getting some more short charges. Oh, the vertical spark. That's not what you want to see in this fight.
Yeah.
And Dragon,
Meanwhile, on Thor's screen, seeing that attic spark, what you do want to see in that room, very nicely executed.
definitely.
And a few supers and Dragon is down.
Yep.
Unfortunately, won't be picking up space jump here.
I sure hope.
Derp, you're scaring me. Derp.
Derp, please do not pick up the space jump. I know it looks nice. You would very much like to have it, but
Okay.
this run you cannot
Thank you,
have it.
Derp.
Thank you very much.
I like to think he did that just for us.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, without space jump or some sort of shine spark suit, blue suit or flash, blue suit or yellow suit as some call it, then this Coliseum return trip will be a not fun time. But he's just got to pick up that plasma beam, and then it's game over for Thor.
Yep. Cack Alley also being pretty annoying without space jump.
Yeah, Cack Alley is not a fun room without space. Thor heading down in the arms of the bowling Chozo to get the gravity suit. That'll be going from there to wherever he desires.
Almost gets that plasma spark.
Yeah, that plasma spark's almost as hard as the normal spark, but the winner of this race, let's talk about what happens after. The winner of this race will be facing Fuzda Andrew in the finals of the DAB tournament. Fuzda having defeated the grand champion of so many DAB tournaments, Kip, is running in the finals, and he will be a very formidable opponent.
Oh yeah, I watched that match earlier, and it was a sight to behold.
Definitely. And Derp has now finished in first place with a time of 36 minutes and 18 seconds on racetime.gg. Very well done.
Congratulations to Derp.
TGDerp.
GG. I would just like to take a moment here to point out that between our two runners, we have nearly every square on this board filled in.
Yeah, and at one point, that fourth one in the top row was filled in too. So there's only like a couple that were not filled in.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's definitely been an interesting race. At first blush, I was a little bit surprised at Derp's pick going for that row 3, but seeing how nothing pairs especially well with it, I think that's a really nice choice.
Yeah, column 2, definitely the lesser of so many other evils. It's probably Thor's best pick, but Derp definitely giving Thor a very hard line, and Thor making the best of it.
Absolutely. I mean, both these runners putting on an absolutely incredible show to execute at this level while figuring out the routing for this and thinking about what you want to do. There are only a couple of people that can play at this level, and we have 2 of them here today.
Definitely. Yeah, you cannot understate the level that these runners are playing at. It's simply insane to just see it here. But we're going to be seeing Thor now doing the ice clip, I believe. He's got that ice beam, and I think that's what he's intending to do. However, these rooms here, the Eva rooms, the sand halls, the mini Dragon rooms, they can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and Thor not having a lot of health here.
Yeah, 58 health is not too much, not that much at all. I believe it's like 3 hits and he's done so, as Zeus would say.
And that's one of them.
Yep, that's one. 3 hits and he's toast. Oh, takes another. Thor, please. No, don't make it end like this. All right, he makes it through.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him just try to kill one of these Puyos to get a big health.
Yeah, that would probably be a pretty good strat. Kills a Puyo, gets big health. Love the profit.
Yeah, feeling a little bit safer now. Ooh, yeah, can't.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Thor not. Yeah, Thor's just gonna reset the room now.
Yeah, that
very difficult to go on this little health. And Drop's not being very good to him. Yeah, you can sort of bait that Puyo into coming down here, but it's pretty fickle.
Yeah, it's very fickle. And we are joined here by the winner of this race, TGDerp. How are you doing? How was your run? Tell us a bit about it.
Well, I actually felt pretty good about that one. I mean, once again, I played pretty bad in the early game, which is, standard for most people doing bingo. There's a lot of other things you need to focus on besides just straight execution, but
I mean, it was very well executed, definitely, especially considering that you had to focus on the card for the beginning portion of the run. But your choice, both for Thor and for yourself, was definitely very, very well chosen.
Yeah, I would say this was in general a pretty fast card. I was actually expecting him to give me row 1, just to force early wrecked ship. That was the only really tricky thing, I guess. But yeah, I saw column 1 pretty fast. I saw what I could do, what my route could be, and yeah, I got a nice time. I'm happy with this.
Yeah, 36 is not shabby at all, but Thorneto, having forfeited the race, will not be continuing on. And Derp, you're going to be facing Andrew Fusden next.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that matchup?
All I'm gonna say is I have not lost a bingo race against anyone that isn't named Kip, and I don't plan on changing that.
Yeah,
wow.
Losing a bingo race to Kip is nothing to be ashamed of. Kip, a really, really strong bingo player, really strong SM player in general. But I mean, you're no slouch, so I'm very excited to see your match with Andrew.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of the tournament. I haven't seen Andrew run, but I mean he beat Kip, so he beat my arch nemesis, I guess. So it's got to be good.
Oh, and Thor getting the ice clip now on the stream.
Very nice. Yeah, so Derp, I'm kind of curious. What was going through your head as you were thinking about which row to choose for your opponent?
Um, like I said, there wasn't a lot of bad rows. So I saw the collect spring ball, skip grapple, which is a tough trick. I don't know too much about Thorneto, but I don't know. I didn't think he was particularly comfortable with ice clip, and you couldn't pick up wave to make it easier, and then you had to pick up a bunch of reserves, and you had to go to Brinstar with, or wait, I guess for some reason I thought that was health recharge, not missile recharge. But point is, there wasn't too much hard on the card, so I just picked what I thought would take the longest.
Interesting. And now I believe we are joined by Thorneto.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
TGDerp.
GG.
Yeah, GG to both runners. Thor, how's your run? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I kept forgetting things, unfortunately. Forgetting the missile recharge, the first one, really kind of set me in a bad mind space, and then I started making a lot of mistakes. And then I missed, I think, the wreck ship map station. Thankfully, I went back for them before it was too late, but those were both kind of unfortunate, and I don't know. I'm not sure about column 2 still. Just kind of forgot that it forced me to fight Croc, and I'm not sure that was the best decision, but I don't know.
Column 2 was the one I was looking with row 3, but you're right, it does force Crocmire, which is kind of rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was happy with the line I picked for you, but looking at the card afterwards, I realized I think the line I picked for you had much better lines that synergized with it compared to mine. So I think that made it kind of a much better choice just on that point alone.
It's possible. I'd have to look at the card more, really.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about there was column 4 that we saw that synergized with bottom left, top right, and then you chose column 1. So,
I mean, column 1, really just the only rough one in that entire line is the collect plasma, skip space jump, so it paired pretty much perfectly. I didn't have to add basically anything, just had to add the map station, which I almost forgot, to be fair, so I guess it almost worked.
Yeah, this was a harder card for me to figure out. A lot of them are a little more obvious to me, but this one was tough.
It's kind of hard to figure out faster cards, cards that don't have really bad tiles in general.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that.
Well, I think you both did a very nice job routing the card and then actually running it through and executing. It was a really impressive race on both sides.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really cool race to watch. But I believe our time has come to a close. So thank you guys for watching. This has been a pleasure to commentate. But we will see you all later. This has been MM2 Nest Cartridge. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, GG Derp, congrats on top 2. That's awesome.
Yeah, GG.
Yep,
GG as well.
Yeah, GG to both of our runners. Thank you to Linkforce for thank you to Linkforce for tracking, and MM2 for commentating alongside me.
Yeah, and thank you to Glove for, of course, commentating alongside me, and thank you to Feasel and everyone else on the Raystream team for getting this recorded.
Absolutely. Be
Yeah.
sure to follow all of our runners and everyone involved. And I think with that, we'll see you next mission.